So for some strange reason today I was thinking about the submersible, of course the one that went down, but thinking about the ultimate submersible that can go down there for extended periods of time, enough lighting to light up a good portion of the area they're in and they're researching, the best camera qualities, the live feeds, and like I said, that can stay down for long periods of time, man. Do you know what we could discover? And I know they're currently working on that. I want to know how many years out we are from seeing something like that. I'd be glued to that YouTube channel all day long. You know what I mean? But until then, let's check out some of the discoveries that they have been making underwater. Let's go.
The ocean is one of the greatest mysteries of the planet. We don't know much about it, much less what resides in its deepest, darkest depths. These discoveries will show you just how little we truly know about the ocean, which takes up 70% of the planet. From the deepest ocean sinkhole on the planet to the ugliest fish in the world, here are 20 remarkable discoveries from the ocean's depths. Number 20. A 186-year-old wreck of a cracked ship. The Industry was built in 1815 in Westport, Massachusetts, a hub of the American whaling industry. The 64-foot-long two-masted brig spent 2 decades hunting sperm whales across the Atlantic, Caribbean, and Gulf of Mexico. On the 26th of May in 1836, a whaling ship named Industry was sent to the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico by a storm that easily snapped both its masts in half and cracked open its hull. 2 centuries passed, and not a single soul had a clue about the fate of the ship and its crew. It wasn't until 2011 that traces of this 186-year-old whaling ship were revealed when an energy company detected it deep in the ocean. In 2022, NOAA finally used remotely operated vehicles to discover where the exact wreck lies. It was then found deep beneath the Gulf of Mexico, 6,000 feet down and 70 miles from the mouth of the Mississippi River. This discovery put a 186-year-long mystery to an end. Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now. Number 19. A large octopus nursery. In 2023, scientists identified what might be a new species of octopus in a rare nursery off the coast of Costa Rica. Yes, you heard that right, an octopus nursery. Now, not only is this incredibly groundbreaking, but it's also only the 3rd known octopus nursery in the world. The nursery was located a staggering 2 miles beneath the ocean surface. It seems that octopuses prefer to leave their young near hydrothermal vents, where there are plenty of minerals that their eggs need to thrive. Surely there are a lot more special sea creatures deep beneath the ocean waiting to be discovered. Number 18. The deepest fish.
I don't know why that's so surprising to me to see that. Maybe it's because it activates the part of my brain that realizes I've never seen that before. But, they have to nurse their young someplace, and I'm pretty sure they're going to keep them all together. But it's still cool and just strange at the same time to see. I don't know why, it just blows my mind.
We've discovered so far. In 2023, deep sea exploration reached a new achievement. Now, have you ever wondered what type of sea creatures live in the abyss? At depths where the light couldn't reach? There's no question that most of the deep sea creatures we've found so far are monstrous and nightmarish. But the deepest swimming fish we've discovered so far is nothing like a beast. In fact, it's oddly adorable. Scientists from the University of Western Australia and Tokyo University of Marine Science and Technology have captured footage of the deepest swimming fish ever recorded. This remarkable discovery took place in the Izu-Ogasawara Trench, located off the coast of Japan at an astonishing depth of over 27,000 feet, about 5 miles below the ocean surface. For reference, the highest peak, Mount Everest, is about 5.5 miles. Now, this cute fish is a type of snailfish. These fascinating creatures have evolved unique characteristics to survive in the crushing pressure of the ocean's depths. Their bodies are gelatinous, lacking the swim bladders found in many other fish, which helps them manage buoyancy and withstand intense pressure. This means that if we were to pull them up to the surface, their organs would implode. Using a camera equipped with bait, scientists successfully managed to attract these creatures and film them. The camera captured not only the record-setting snailfish, but also other specimens at slightly shallower depths. Unfortunately, it will be quite a while before we can observe these creatures with our own eyes. After all, the pressure where these creatures live would easily crush a person. Number 17. The deepest ocean sinkhole on the planet. In Chetumal Bay, off the southeastern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, is a massive blue hole that plunges into the ocean depths. This is Mexico's Tamja Blue Hole. With a depth of 1,380 feet, it's the deepest ocean sinkhole on the planet. This incredible underwater chasm is so deep that scientists have yet to reach its bottom, which means
I think that answers my question right there. If we could ever have a black hole appear in the ocean. I mean, this somewhat answers my question a little bit right here. You get what I'm saying? We don't know much about it. Probably whatever goes in there probably doesn't come out depending on what depths it goes. Like, this gives all the qualities of a black hole to me.
we still don't know just what creatures are lurking deep within the hole. Translating to deep water in the Mayan language, Tamja is one of the most mysterious underwater realms in the world. Researchers used advanced technology to measure its depth accurately. This device, equipped with sensors, was lowered into the blue hole, providing real-time data about the water's properties and revealing the true extent of this natural wonder. About 1,300 feet down, the temperature and salinity of the water resemble those of the Caribbean Sea and nearby reef lagoons. This suggests the blue hole might be connected to the ocean through a network of hidden tunnels and caves. Number 16. Chlamidia discovered in deepest reaches of the Arctic Ocean. Chlamydia is a bacterial infection that's passed from one person to another. However, the conditions to pass this infection are very specific. Yet researchers recently discovered the bacteria in the unlikeliest place ever, the extreme environment of the deep Arctic Ocean. These bacteria were found in sediments several feet below the ocean floor, roughly 2 miles beneath the surface, in a region known as Loki's Castle, a field of hydrothermal vents located between Iceland, Norway, and the Svalbard Islands. The reason why this is so shocking is the fact that unlike the bacteria species that causes infections, these deep-sea species are hardy. These bacteria live in oxygen-deprived high-pressure conditions and do not appear to rely on host organisms to survive, unlike their pathogenic relatives. The presence of Chlamydia in such inhospitable environment has puzzled scientists. It befuddled them and also worried them. You see, the presence of this species means that these bacteria might have adapted to extract necessary compounds from other microbes in the marine sediments. This means that one way or another, they're also part of the deep-sea ecosystem. They're an important part of the Arctic Ocean. Research is still ongoing, and scientists hope to unravel the role of these bacteria deep within the ocean. Number 15. The secret behind diamond formation found at the bottom of the sea floor. Diamonds are precious stones, and everyone knows their value. That's why, from the very beginning, we've been curious about how these stones form. Today, we know that diamonds are formed deep within the Earth, around 62 to 124 miles below the surface. These regions are known as subduction zones. They're basically areas where tectonic plates collide, and one plate is forced beneath another. How exactly these gems form has always been a puzzle, because they're usually pushed to the surface where we can reach them. This discovery on the ocean floor, however, revealed the secret behind diamond formation. The secret might lie with sediment on the sea floor. Previously, scientists had theorized that the salts found within certain types of natural diamonds, known as fibrous diamonds, originated from seawater. However, this had not been confirmed until recent studies provided concrete evidence. Researchers replicated the extreme conditions of the Earth's mantle in a lab setting by using high-pressure diamond-making experiments. They combined ground-up ocean floor sediments with minerals from the upper mantle and subjected them to conditions mimicking those found deep underground. The results showed that the interaction between these marine sediments and mantle rocks indeed leads to the formation of diamonds. This means we finally unlocked the secret behind these precious stones. Number 14. Bizarre vast bed of metal balls in the abyss. The seabed is filled with unique features. So when scientists discovered a region in the ocean filled with small spheres, they knew they had stumbled upon something unprecedented. In 2015, the RV Zona, a German research ship, was traveling between South America and Africa, several hundred miles east of Barbados, when their mesh net caught solid spheres. Curious, they sent a remote camera underwater and discovered something astounding. It turned out that deep within the water at depths between 16,400 and 18,000 feet were round manganese nodules, some larger than softballs, while some the size of bowling balls. Now, what exactly are these spheres? Well,
not only that, what are we interrupting? That's what scares me too about research and discovery. You know, when we discover something and we go to move it without knowing what we're interrupting, what we may be the taking off balance, I don't know. That's the scary part about it, bro. So that's my question. Like, whoa, be careful before we just remove something and take it.
They're geological formations composed of layers of iron and manganese hydroxides around a core, which can be anything from a fossil to a fragment of another nodule. Although bizarre looking, they're actually common in the ocean, especially in the Pacific. These manganese nodules grow incredibly slow. By slow, I mean they grow at a rate of about 1 centimeter every million years, which means the largest of these manganese spheres might be as old as 10 million years. This goes to show just how many secrets the ocean is hiding. Number 13. Deep sea fish dubbed the ugliest fish in the world. If you've been on the internet for a while, you've most likely heard or seen something about this fish. This blob that eerily resembles a human face with a drooping nose is a blobfish. This creature was pulled up by deep-sea anglers from a staggering 4,000 feet underwater off the coasts of Australia, Tasmania, and New Zealand. In this depth, the pressure is 100 times greater than we feel in shallow water. This sea creature has been dubbed the ugliest fish on the planet, but not a lot of people know that this fish might have been wrongly judged. You see, this is what the blobfish truly looks like. At depths of 4,000 feet, it looks like a normal wide-faced fish. However, when pulled up to the surface, its body undergoes a sudden change in pressure, causing it to look like a soggy blob. This transformation happens because the water pressure that keeps the fish's body intact is no longer present, causing it to appear flattened and saggy. Little is known about the blobfish's diet due to the difficulty of studying these creatures in their natural habitat. However, they're believed to be opportunistic feeders, consuming whatever edible material drifts down to the ocean floor, including invertebrates like mollusks and sea pens. They don't have teeth, so they likely swallow their prey whole. While this information does make these creatures a bit nightmarish, I think they still don't deserve to have the title of being the world's ugliest animal. Thoughts? Number 12. Giant underwater cockroach. If you're scared of insects, then you'll probably agree with me that despite being sea creatures, giant isopods are something straight out of a nightmare. Giant isopods are found in the deep, cold waters of the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. They typically inhabit depths ranging from 500 to 7,000 feet, where the pressure is immense and temperatures are low. These creatures are 20 inches long and are considered crustaceans. However, with their features, they almost come close to creatures not from this world. You see, unlike many other marine animals, giant isopods do not have a swim bladder, which would collapse under the high pressure of the deep sea. Instead, their bodies are composed of a gelatinous substance slightly denser than water, allowing them to float just above the ocean floor. They also have hard exoskeletons and large spaced-out eyes with over 4,000 facets that help them navigate and survive in the pitch-black depths.
But yet, it still makes no sense how they're able to survive at those depths like that, man. And then you think about us, we go down there and it's instantly lights out if we go at those depths. But look at them, just down there like it's a normal, everyday occurrence, nothing wrong. Well, what's wrong? Why y'all can't be down here is the way they would probably look at us. Like, how is that? And I know they give explanations as to why, but I still ask how. Like, how?
These creatures scavenge and feed on lifeless marine animals that sink to the ocean floor, including fish, squid, and even large whale carcasses. I don't know about you, but while I find these creatures fascinating, I never want to see these creatures in shallow water. They resemble a roach far too closely for me to be comfortable being near them. Number 11. World War II warship. In 2019, researchers discovered a long-lost World War II ship at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, the Kaga. That year, this shipwreck joined the list of 30 other warships discovered by Petrel, a 250-foot-long vessel tasked with locating every historically significant shipwreck. The Kaga was a Japanese aircraft carrier that sank to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean nearly 81 years ago during the Battle of Midway. The Battle of Midway, which took place in June 1942, was a critical confrontation between the United States and Japan, altering the balance of power in the Pacific theater. The battle resulted in significant losses for both sides, including 4 Japanese carriers, Akagi, Kaga, Soryu, and Hiryu, and the American carrier USS Yorktown. The surveys provided stunning, detailed images of the wreck, revealing the ship's armament, battle damage, and even the chrysanthemum crest, a symbol of the Japanese Imperial Navy, still visible on the bow. These surveys were live-streamed, allowing experts and the public to witness the discovery in real time. In the years to come, we'll surely discover more of these historical shipwrecks. The more our technology develops, the more we'll be able to find these wrecks that might reveal a lot about our history. Number 10. Rare plutonium found in the ocean. Plutonium-244 is something that's not easily found on Earth. It has a half-life of about 82 million years, which means any plutonium-244 that was present during Earth's formation has long since decayed. And the only plutonium-244 we find today came from space. So when scientists from Australia, Japan, and Europe discovered this rare plutonium-244 in the deep sea crust of the Pacific Ocean, they were incredibly baffled. Traces of plutonium-244 were discovered in samples collected from nearly 5,000 feet below the ocean surface. This means that millions of years ago, a supernova or other cosmic event sent traces of this rare isotope into the world's oceans. Researchers continue their work by analyzing larger samples to obtain a more precise timeline of when these isotopes arrived on Earth. This ongoing research could help scientists piece together the history of our solar system and the many cosmic events that shaped our planet into what it is today. Number 9.
Stop it. Nah, that ain't what they doing the research. What are they, what could, because I'm scared to look it up on my phone. I mean, these days you gotta be careful what you look up on this device. You can't just be typing any old thing and looking it up, because then your phone is just flagged and now they paying attention to you. But what can the plutonium be used for is the question that I have. What can they do with it? Like, yeah, they feeding us some BS, but I know they're gonna use that for something else. So they're trying to get to that for some other means.
The only species known to be capable of living forever. Did you know that there's a creature that can technically live forever? This species is known as the Immortal jellyfish. Its name is pretty self-explanatory. This tiny jellyfish, smaller than the nail on your pinky finger, has an extraordinary capability to reverse its aging process and revert to its juvenile polyp stage after reaching maturity. Essentially, this creature can turn back time. It has a cheat code to avoid death from old age and continue living indefinitely. It first starts off as a free-swimming larva, then develops into a polyp, then into a mature jellyfish. Now, when the mature jellyfish faces starvation or physical damage, it will simply absorb its tentacles and retreat to the sea floor, transforming back into a polyp. In time, it will mature back to a fully developed jellyfish, just like nothing happened. However, immortality doesn't mean invincibility, of course. These creatures can still be eaten, and they can still perish due to damage to their bodies. What's more, these creatures can't completely control their reversal from their mature forms back to their polyp stages. Under the right conditions, however, these creatures can theoretically live indefinitely. Number 8. Mysterious pocket of underwater gas. In the depths of the Pacific Ocean, scientists have discovered a mysterious pocket of underwater gas that could contain up to 50 million tons of carbon dioxide. This massive reservoir, found using seismic waves, spans at least 2.5 miles wide. Such underwater gas pockets are typically formed near tectonic plate boundaries. where volcanic activity and bacterial decomposition release significant amounts of carbon dioxide and methane. Researchers are now trying to learn more about these gas pockets. After all, if they get released out of the blue, these trapped gases could potentially affect the temperature and state of our planet. Number 7. Newly discovered 85-mile patch of coral reef. Recently, scientists have uncovered an astonishing feature at the depths of the Atlantic Ocean. An 85-mile-long coral reef located approximately 160 miles off the coast of South Carolina. This discovery was spotted by researchers aboard the RV Atlantis using the submersible Alvin, revealing dense populations of cold-water corals flourishing about half a mile below the ocean surface. Since the 1960s, scientists have been researching the coral formations in this region. However, the full extent of this coral formation remains unknown to this day. Number 6. Never-before-seen vampire squid discovered in the Twilight Zone. There are some species in the ocean that researchers are eager to catch alive. Take, for instance, this giant squid. These creatures have been studied by researchers in the past. However, a live giant squid has never been properly observed. A significant amount of the already scarce data we have of them have been derived solely from lifeless specimens. So when researchers spotted this vampire squid swimming in deep water off Hainan Island, China, they were completely delighted. This never-before-seen vampire squid revealed itself earlier this month. Thanks to modern technology, scientists were able to observe this squid swimming in its natural habitat at depths from 2,600 to 3,300 feet, where only a sliver of sunlight penetrates. The vampire squid, known for its eerie name and appearance, typically reaches lengths of about 1 foot. Now, it might look like something straight out of a nightmare, but despite its menacing look, the vampire squid is a harmless scavenger. It doesn't hunt, but rather feeds on marine snow. What's marine snow, you ask? Well, it's basically just any organic material in the water, including the waste or feces of other creatures or decaying animals. Now, that might sound unpleasant for you, but for the ocean, this squid plays a large role as a cleaner. This adaptation is unique to creatures deep within the Twilight Zone, where extreme...
Again, there you go again, saying that everything down there is important. So when we go removing things, what are we disrupting? And I know we all like to fish, or we all like to discover, bring things back, research it. But how is that going to play out in the long run is the problem.
Extreme conditions and limited light prompted sea creatures to have unique evolutionary paths. Researchers conducted genetic analyses to confirm the distinction of this species from its known relatives. However, studies and observations are still ongoing. Perhaps this could be the beginning of us unraveling the secrets of this species. Number 5. Megalodon tooth discovered in the Titanic's wreck. On the night of April 15, 1912, the RMS Titanic hit an iceberg in the North Atlantic Ocean. 2 hours and 40 minutes later, the ship sank into the icy waters. This incident claimed the lives of more than 1,500 people and remains the most tragic and infamous maritime disaster in the history of mankind. Known as the Ship of Dreams, the RMS Titanic represented opulence and luxury. While it carried 284 passengers in second class and 1,100 passengers in third class, much of the Titanic's space was created solely for the first class. The majority of the third-class passengers boarded the Titanic in hopes of starting a new life in the new world, with many of them having nothing on their names but a small sum of money and other personal belongings. But for the first-class passengers, boarding the Titanic was merely an experience, and so along with them, they brought jewelry, paintings, and other valuables that would make their journey much more pleasant. When the RMS Titanic sank, these riches plunged into the icy water and into the depths of the ocean along with the ship. It wasn't until 1985 that the Titanic shipwreck was discovered, and now, decades after the wreck's discovery, we continue to recover items left in the Titanic's wreck located 12,600 feet below the surface of the North Atlantic Ocean. One of the most impressive things recovered from the wreck is a necklace, one that contains the tooth of a megalodon, a massive shark that roamed the oceans around 20 million.
Okay, I got excited for nothing. Okay, all right. I was about to sit there and start coming up with all type of conspiracies now. Like, Okay, well, maybe it didn't run into an iceberg. Maybe it was rammed by a huge megalodon. You know, my mind go crazy with the theory. So, but this is a necklace. Somebody had that on board the ship probably, and it went down with the ship and still remained. I get it now, but the way they presented it to me, they're responsible for my brain going crazy.
Years ago, using over 700,000 high-resolution images, a team of researchers created a detailed 3D model of the Titanic, which helped identify various artifacts, including unopened champagne bottles, pairs of shoes, and this stunning necklace. As we recover more and more artifacts from the Titanic's wreck, we'll hopefully get a fuller glimpse of the people who lost their lives in this tragic disaster. Number 4. Weird balloon creature. Now here's another remarkable creature discovered by researchers deep in the Java Trench, the deepest part of the Indian Ocean, with depths reaching over 23,596 feet. You're looking at a, quote, balloon on a string, as scientists greatly put it. This unusual creature, identified as a type of sea squirt or ascidian, features a gelatinous balloon-like body attached to a long string-like appendage. Now just like a string does to a balloon, this appendage allows this creature to anchor itself to the sea floor, helping it remain stationary. This allows the creature to filter feed and capture food particles. This particular sea squirt is distinct from other known species due to its unique physical characteristics, such as the absence of filaments that are typically found on the heads of similar creatures. The part of the ocean where this creature was discovered is largely unexplored. You see, before we can even observe the creatures that reside here, we need to invest in advanced submersibles and high-resolution imaging technology. I truly am curious about what other creatures reside in the Java Trench. As expeditions continue, we'll surely get a chance to learn more about the amazing creatures that somehow adapted to this harsh environment. Number 3. Underwater mammoth tusk. In 2019, researchers discovered something incredibly out of place a staggering 10,000 feet underwater. 10,000 feet off the coast of California, an ancient tusk measuring a staggering 3 feet long was found. This artifact was first discovered by marine biologists Stephen Haddock and Randy Prickett from the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute while scanning the deep ocean floor with a remotely operated vehicle, or an ROV. However, with only a remotely operated vehicle available, researchers could only retrieve a small fragment to confirm what they had spotted was indeed a mammoth tusk. In 2021, a follow-up expedition was launched, and a team of researchers returned with a full array of experts, including paleontologists and genomics specialists, to recover the entire tusk. Subsequent research revealed that the tusk belonged to a Columbian mammoth, one that lived and roamed our planet a staggering 100,000 years ago. Number 2. Ravioli Starfish. Meet the Ravioli Starfish. Scientifically, the name of this creature isn't as goofy, but hey, a sea creature named Ravioli sounds better, don't you think? This starfish was spotted in the depths of the Atlantic Ocean, and it's pretty obvious how it got its name. Not only does this creature have a unique pentagonal shape, but it also has a pillow-like body, making it look like the classic Italian pasta. First described in 1884, the Ravioli starfish has intrigued scientists with its elusive nature and fascinating biology. Recently, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration captured stunning footage of these starfish alive, showing them feeding on sea sponges, a behavior that had never been observed before. Well, this just might be my most favorite discovery yet. And now, it's time for today's topic. A drone made a chilling discovery in the water. No one was supposed to see this. The key to learning more about the ocean is technology. With better equipment, sonar, submersibles, and ROVs, we would be able to reach the abyss. However, it seems like something has been exploring the world's oceans before we could do so. A drone captured this unknown object traversing the ocean miles away from land. It seems like a watercraft. Now what's bizarre is that it disappeared into the water shortly after being spotted, almost as if it knew that it was being filmed. Now some believe that this is a spy submarine or submersible. However, there are also others who thought that this strange object wasn't a lifeless object, but rather a deep-sea creature that curiously emerged closer to the surface. You know what they say, when the creatures living deep in the sea somehow end up in shallow waters, run, because this might be a bad omen. Number 1. iPhone that is still working after being submerged for 33 days. Now this just might be the most shocking discovery in this video.
And we don't believe it. We don't believe it at all. I'm sorry. Not with reused parts, because you know they make the iPhones, the new ones, with reused parts. So you're not going to tell me that. I ain't believing this one.
We all get nervous when our phones accidentally get wet, or worse, get submerged in deep water. Unless, of course, you own something that's water resistant, then good for you. If you drop an iPhone 14 in the ocean and leave it there for days, do you think it'll still work if you pick it up again? Most of you most likely said no, right? Well, this discovery proved otherwise. A man from Minnesota named Zach lost his iPhone 14 Pro Max when he went kayaking, much to the displeasure of his mother, who advised him not to go kayaking in the first place. When the waves overturned his kayak, he had an inkling of suspicion that his phone would be compromised. And he was right. Zach thought he'd never find his phone again. A little over a month after the incident, however, Dr. Carl Brookins, a retired fisheries scientist, stumbled upon Zach's phone. The phone was found covered in sand and starting to crust over. Skeptical about its chances of revival, Brookins nonetheless decided to try and recover it. After placing the phone in a bag of salt and rice to remove moisture, he managed to charge it, and to his surprise, the phone powered on. While Apple claims the iPhone 14 can survive up to 6 meters underwater for 30 minutes, this phone defied the odds by enduring over a month submerged in seawater. Dr. Brookins was able to unlock the phone thanks to a simple passcode. I guess this is the only advantage of an obvious passcode. Dr. Brookins contacted Zach, who was, of course, surprised. Not only did Dr. Brookins retrieve Zach's phone, but he also returned it to Zach free of charge. What a nice gentleman. Is this a sign to try and use your iPhone as an underwater camera? Not at all. But does this make me more comfortable being a little less careful with my phone? Absolutely. If there's something I'm curious about the ocean, it's whether the cryptids we know truly exist in the abyss. After all, we've barely seen the creatures that live tens of thousands of feet in the sea.